All right. We're live on StreamYard, or whatever they call it now. Stu saying StreamYard up there, so but they have a new name or whatever. Uh, okay, we're live. We're live on YouTube as well. All right, welcome everybody to Rick's Life as I see it on Wednesday night. I don't know. Oh, I need to turn my camera on. There we go. And look, I was since I haven't been anywhere for a few days. I started tidy. I got to tidy the bookshelf up behind me, but I moved stuff around and I got the gun back on the wall and all that good stuff. You know, so I wanted to make it look better. So I'll be doing that.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. But also, I got to admit, I'm a bad boy. I'm late with the old swag packs that I meant to be sending out. They're in a box. I have them in an envelope, ready to write your address on them. The winners. I got a list. The list is with the envelopes, and the envelopes are in a box over there. So I've got to dig them out and take care of that. So I do apologize. I haven't forgotten y'all. So there we go. Uh, what else? Oh yeah, real quick, why people still coming in is I had a situation to do with my new vehicle last week. That's why I had to go to a meeting about my vehicle with with my family, my cousins who I got it off of. There was a um, I can't think of the correct word I'm looking for. But anyway, the situation's taken care of. I still got the vehicle. It's sitting out front. So I didn't lose it or anything. And it's still running. So there we go. But talking about that though, guys, I didn't. My friend who I normally I go visit in the mornings. Uh, he was what did he do? He was doing something. He said, "Hang on, man." He said, "This was a few days ago before this last code snap came in. We had a half-ass decent day. It was up in the 40s." He said, "Let me get underneath there." So he crawled underneath my car, and because I got a loud, the exhaust needs fixing too. He said, actually, the exhaust from the manifold down and the back, he said, it doesn't look too bad. He said, where the problem is, he said, this is where it's leaking, is that he sounds like, is sort of around between the manifold and going into the catalytic converter area, that in that general vicinity.
Okay. Did he mention anything about a flange or donut ring?
Well, no, but what it is, there's the tube. It has broken in half, the pipe, right? And somebody stuck. I can't think of the word for it. I mean, it's tougher. It's made out of metal, but stuff like the old
Flex
dryer
tube type
vents,
stuff. Yeah.
the
Yep.
dryer vents.
Yep.
Somebody had stuffed, and it's like a 2-inch pipe. They stuck it like a 1.5-inch of that metal inside each end and tried to clamp it, and that's where it's leaking. So he said, "Get him to fix that too." I said, "I plan to. It's all under control." And I mentioned it to my cousin too the other day when I saw him last week, and said, "The exhaust needs doing too." I said, "You're killing me in there." I said, "Quite, I said, lucky the fumes ain't coming inside." So, but I will be honest. I don't. I started it the other day. Was it yesterday? I started the been sitting outside for a week. I haven't even driven it since last Wednesday when I went over. It was the last time I drove it, and it's been parked out front ever since. So I thought, it's been so cold, and it didn't have. I mean, I don't know how old the battery is on the thing. It starts every time I go in there, but except for the very first day, they had to jump it for me to bring it home. And I think the next day it went type thing. So I put it on a charger to charge it up, and it hasn't let me down since. But anyway, I know I'm going around the bushes. I went to start it yesterday and let it see if it would start. It fired right up. First, boom. As soon as I turned the key, it fired up. So I let it run for about 10 minutes or so. But where I was going with this is just sitting there idling. It rumbles like a muscle car with the exhaust. It's not, I mean, where I'm sitting at, it's maybe, I don't know, 20 yards from where I'm sitting. I'm inside a house and there's a window here, and it's parked about 20 yards away from me. And I can hear it sitting here rumbling out there. So, but it's not, but when I'm in the car driving, you can't even hear yourself talk. It's so loud inside. So,
Yeah.
it's because as what he told me, he said where they tried to patch it is right underneath where I sit, basically. You know, he said that's why. He said more than likely there ain't much, installation inside between there and stuff. So anyway, that's where we're at. So anyway, let's see who's shown up now. Anyway, let's see. First in the room. Oh, let me introduce my panelists, I guess. So, introduce the one and only New York Outcast. How you doing?
Doing all right. Not liking the cold. So it's been feels like -7 and whatnot lately. But or 2 degrees or what? Yeah, it's been pretty bad. But other than that, doing okay. So thanks for having me. Obviously, thanks for joining us, folks.
Yeah, good. And you got the big snow dump coming. So they, unless for some miracle, the whole weather pattern changes in the next couple of days, which it could do, But right now, last I heard, we're getting a hammer. We're getting snow all the way from Texas, all the way across up into the New England, and even Washington D.C. is set to get a foot of snow. Well, here where I'm at, where it's originally they said maybe 3 to 4 inches. This morning we were getting 7 to 8 inches. Tonight it says we're up to, because it shifted. It's not going as far south as they thought it was going to go. So we're going to get about 10 inches here. I said we ain't had that much snow in the 6, 7 years I've lived here. So but I remember my cousins telling me years ago that they used to get really, they used to get some really heavy snow here back in the day. I'm talking about, the 60s, 70s, and early 80s. It used to snow quite a lot here. But with climate change, it doesn't so much, I guess. I don't know. But I don't believe in climate change as the way they say it. Is the Earth, it's been around for billions of years, goes through cycles, And how do we know the temperature hasn't been like this
in the
before
past?
They started taking records.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I agree with you on that. So, I mean, if you trust anything we've seen, which I don't trust a lot of it, but the layers and carbon dating and whatnot, it's obvious that things have always kind of changed slowly. So, yeah. There used to be oceans where there's deserts now, stuff like that. So, it's
Yeah.
I think it's always slowly changing. We'll see how long we stick around with it, but yeah.
Hey, Greenland is melting. That's why China and Russia want it, and that's why our administration wants to buy it.
Yeah, maybe, maybe.
You know? Well,
They've been,
actually, if you look at it that, I mean, I'm not going to get into it, but if you look at it from that point of view, I'd rather us have it than either Russia or China have it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I'd rather us and them, and that's
Yeah,
where it may come down to a national security type thing. But I
yeah.
don't like the idea of forcing weight upon people,
No, no.
especially when we kind of already have free roam of the place. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
yeah, so I don't know, but there's obviously probably more than I know about, and and I'm
yeah,
sure everybody says, well, it's it's the resources, but again, we've had a good relationship with them, good relationship with the Danish for quite a while now. So they, they've even sent troops to places with us.
yeah,
Volunteered for being such a small place, so they're putting effort in. So it's seems nobody wants to be overtaken by your friend, I guess you could state. So
yeah.
hopefully we can come to some type of agreement on it and whatnot. So I don't know.
And I mean, they've let us put a. We've got a military base there already.
Oh
You know,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, they could have said over this. They could have said, "Screw you, get out. We don't want you here anymore." You know. But anyway,
Yeah, they
anyway,
could have tried.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway, what I was going to do first, I forgot to say who was in the room so far. Tactical Fud, 2 Live Moo. Uh, who we got there? That's Rom 2 Matters. Okay, there we go. Getting it all. Yeah. Anyway, I want to start this off. I did do some. I mean, I went over this years ago when I was doing the shooting with disabilities thing, but I went back onto the NRA site and where is it? Their adaptive shooting program. They still got it going, and This has been updated. So they got where if you're got a disability and you want to go into a shooting competition that is NRA sponsored or it's following their guidelines or whatever, you can get a waiver. And I was looking at that the way like now the prone position is laying on the ground flat, right? When you're shooting,
Yeah, basically, yep, yep.
yeah.
Be on the
Well,
ground,
you can
skeletal structure.
yeah. Well, under the waiver, you got to sign in a form. You got to fill out a form and submit it to whoever's to the NRA, I believe it is, if I read it correctly. And you got to get your doctor to sign off that you are disabled, right? And then and it should be approved. Then, like when they have if you're in a rifle competition, you got to shoot from the prone position. You can use a shooting table. Say you're in a wheelchair, even if you're not in a wheelchair, if you're in a wheelchair, or if you can't, like myself, I can't get with my back and stuff and arthritis and all that shit. I can't get up and down that well. So I would qualify. So you would use a shooting table, right? And it goes both elbows resting on the shooting table. The chest or abdomen may also rest on the table in prone only. So you can have both elbows on the table. You can be leaning your chest on it while you're shooting your rifle. And that's counted as being in the prone position. So So basically what they're saying is there's no reason why you can't compete with the rest of the guys. Then like they do it with now if you were in the sitting position, it's the same as the prone position except that the chest or abdomen may not touch the table in any way, right? And kneeling, you still get to use the table, but your chest or abdomen can't touch it. Only one elbow may rest on the table, And of course, if you're sitting in a chair or a wheelchair, you can't have no arms on the wheelchair or a regular chair if you're using just a chair to sit on. Okay? Then standing, you can sit in a chair and, you can't rest your arms on anything. You've actually got to hold your rifle up unless you have trouble doing that. And then it says here, an offhand stand may be affixed to the wheelchair, to help you hold the rifle up if your disability doesn't allow you to be able to do that, And so there you go. Rifle slings cannot be used. That's just some of the stuff. Pistol, you can sit in your chair with a straight, you have to sit straight back, sit up straight, in other words, and you're off, your weak hand or whatever, if you shoot just one-handed, right? Hang on. Let me read this right. The competitor must sit up against the back of the chair or wheelchair. Sidearms of the chair must be removed. The non-shooting arm must be at rest in the competitor's lap. No part of the competitor's arms may come in contact with any part of the wheelchair. No adaptive device of any kind may be used to support the pistol other than the competitor's own arm and hand. So there you go. So you could enter any of these competitions. And I would imagine from what I was reading, also looking at this stuff, like if you want to go into those, what a lot of shooters do, running back and forth, shooting at still targets and shit like that. You get hold of those organizations and they should be able to give you a waiver too. So basically, you might, instead of running from thing to thing, you can move at your pace and penalties won't go against you for doing that. So if you want to get into it, you can. So I just thought I'll bring that up. I thought that's how I would start off my little section I'm doing on shooting with disabilities. So I thought I just, also there's what's called it. I found another site here. What's called it? Where there's they sell to normal people too, but the company called Wing Tactical, they do accessories, to help the disabled, from magazine loaders to adjustable bipods and tripods and stuff to help you, feed control items and all that stuff. So, and I was reading also somewhere that I think this was late. This other article I was reading, I think it was dated late 23 into 24. It was saying that one of the friendliest guns to use is the EZ 9mm or 380. So, and that's why I bought the 380, because it's not so hard on my arthritic hands, So there we go. I don't know if anybody's got any questions or anything they want to bring up, but that's going to be my first segment of bringing back shooting with disabilities. So hopefully I'll have some more stuff next week, and if people are still interested, I'll keep doing it. So there we go. Now back to our regular scheduled stuff, which is basically, you guys listening to me ramble on, basically.
I'll just throw in, I think it's cool that they do have a way of getting you in with the regular competitions or getting people in that situation. And I would almost think, not to sound funny or anything, but almost like they would have a disability section, or where it would compare like that.
Category sort of for disabled people.
Yeah, kind of like the Special Olympics, but you know what I mean, or whatever. Maybe not to the same extent, but a different bracket category where you can run through, and maybe less restrictions on firearms or something. But no, I think that's pretty cool, because if you don't want to be treated differently as far as ratings and scores and whatnot, you can still come in to the regular competitions. So I'd assume there's quite a few out there. There's some for kids and all types of different things. So that's pretty cool.
And there's also organizations out there that do hunting trips for disabled people who want to go hunting, either for deer or turkey, whatever season you're interested in. There is organizations cool out there will take you, So, I mean, like myself, I've mentioned this too. I've here in Indiana, I've got a permission or a placard and a sticker and everything else that I can shoot from a vehicle because of my disability, because I can't go traipsing through the woods and all that kind of shit. So I can sit in a side by side or something and shoot from there. So if I choose to, I haven't ever used that because I don't really. The only hunting I've ever done was squirrel hunting, and I know you walk through the woods there, but I done that. I happen to be walking through the woods and it's killing me. I'm dying, and I got to a little sort of grove of trees, and there happened to be a big down old oak tree laying on the ground, but it was about waist high. I sat my ass on there and scanned the trees from there, looking for squirrels and stuff, So didn't see many.
Better be careful, because you get out there and can't move. Those squirrels might gang up on your ass. So.
Oh yeah.
Gotta be careful.
I could hear the squirrels, but I couldn't see them because my cousin took me, a different one. He goes on the first day of squirrel season every year, which here in Indiana is the 15th of August. Right? Well, the trees are still covered in leaves. You can't see the goddamn little things, very, very easily. I could hear them, but I couldn't see them. So I hasten out. I didn't get it.
Claymores are for, they're up there. You just set it, forget it, hit the clacker, you're good.
Yeah. So anyway, that's about the only hunting I've done. Now my cousin, the one who took me squirrel hunting, told me I could come because he has a few, I think it's, I don't know, 40, 60 acres or whatever he has, and he has woods in the back, and he's shot many a deer back there. He said, if you ever want to, just let me know. He said, we can set up out here if you want to, try to get a deer. So, but I've never taken him up on it. So, but I was thinking that, hey, I could take one. I don't know. Can you? I'm not sure if you can use big old 308s to take a deer down. I don't see why not, but there might be a law against it here because they changed the rules this year on what you can bring and what you can't bring and all this kind of shit. You can use. I know this year you can use 223 now. Shoot, use it for deer hunting, but you cannot have more than 10 rounds on your person while you're out there hunting. So, why they come up with that number, I don't know. So, but if you're, I guess, if you're using a 44 caliber or whatever rifle, you can have a whole box of 50. But if you're using 223, you can only have 10. It sounds unfair to me.
Yeah, some of these things are weird. Definitely.
Yeah.
They have kind of similar laws in New York where, you're only supposed to have like three in the gun. So it's I don't know. I think it's pretty much ridiculous in most cases. But who knows? I don't know. But, maybe there's something to it that I'm not aware of. But it seems to me that you could be, putting yourself or your party at risk by only having a couple rounds in case of an attack or something like that. So, but there's probably not many people that have been attacked and taken out a little round to complain about that. And if I had a couple more rounds, I might have got So I don't know. All the complainers are probably long gone now.
Yeah. I mean, the way I look at it, if you have to use 10 rounds to bring down a deer, you're a pretty bad shot. If it takes you 10 rounds to bring him down,
But just because you're actually out hunting doesn't mean you can't come across a personal, self-defense situation. So
I know.
Whether it's some idiot from New York City that's trying to shoot everything that moves, whether it's, somebody pissed off, you're trusting on Grandpappy's land, even though it's not, or whatever the case is. So it's, or it's another animal, shit could be a problem just for even signaling. You get out there, break your leg somewhere, phone don't work, this or that. If you only got so many rounds on you, how many rounds can you signal with? And you might already use them. So, it seems kind of crappy.
Yeah, and wild hogs, you could have 3 or 4 of them trying to attack you.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that here. I mean, well, you're in Walmart parking lot or something, but it's in certain parts of the country for sure. So
yeah. I mean, there's not many, but like here, wild hogs have made it to Indiana. They're not many, and normally when they do show up, they normally get taken out every year. But every year they show back up. You know what I'm saying? So they are migrating this way. So there you go. That's, so they could be in New York in another 20 years. Yeah.
Could be. You never know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, Vanessa Kitties, how you doing? Good to see you. And, the other big topic is, because I can tell by my YouTube feed, I mean, I'm getting inundated with SHOT Show videos already. And it's only day 1 or day 2 today? It might even be day 2. Yeah. So, I mean, I've got whoever I'm following who are at there, I'm getting nothing but SHOT Show videos. So we're gonna have that for the next. I know it's only a week long, but we'll get videos about it for the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I've seen a couple, but
Yeah.
basically it was I think G Web's kind of the aerial, the drone. I mean, I was
Yeah.
more interested in that than watching the other videos. So I don't know. Like everybody's got their own stuff, but doesn't really interest me much.
Oh,
Currently.
I think I found Squibload's rail fanning YouTube channel. I said I was going to look for it. I think I found it.
I think that's something.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's his, but it's a very small channel, and it's based in Michigan. And I think it's his. I got to do some more research, but I think it's his. So there we go. I do. I thought it was on my mind. I thought I forgot to mention it to you. He actually uploaded one on his regular Squibload channel. Actually, a train video. So I don't. He didn't do any talking. So I was waiting for him. I was waiting to hear him say, "This one's for you, Rick," or something, but he didn't. But yeah, so I said SHOT Show's going on. I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I've been bad lately. I haven't even been watching, what new guns are meant to be out there this year. Anything new that you've heard of that's coming out?
No, I haven't been paying attention either. I've been I don't have any motives to be currently at this point, and I got other things on my plate to be focusing on, so haven't really man. Seems like it's died down from what I'm guessing. Even in the aerial videos, parking lots are half full. I'm hearing that's not normal or good, and so I don't know. I assume it. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people are having a rough time now. Things haven't been great for me this last year, so it's probably less people going down and buying, to some extent, and so therefore probably the same with the dealers where they're maybe taking in smaller orders now. I don't know. So maybe business is just down a little bit this year over at SHOT Show. I personally don't know because I wasn't there and I haven't really been watching anything. I'm just going by what I've heard from, I think, part of Gary's show and what I've seen for myself on G's stuff. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah. So I think so too. Also, as I said, on a personal note, is I'm not even looking at buying anything new in the firearm side until my vehicle's paid off. Which will be sometime. I'll have it paid off sometime during the summer. Then my first thing on my agenda. I know you told me so, but I'm going to buy the 22 conversion kit for my AR-15. I know I shouldn't have sold the 22 AR, but I did. I'm picking myself now.
Well, from what I've heard, those conversion kits, the CMG. Yeah, I've heard it works pretty well. I mean, I'd still recommend just getting a can't even think of the word now, a dedicated rifle. But, to each their own. If they work, that's half the battle right there. And the only part I still think is a disadvantage is, magazines. I know the kit gives you 3, but I don't know. I just hate for it to be your only AR. And as much as I love 22, if there was ever the emergency we had to grab in the middle of the night. I'd rather it was ready to go in 5.56, 2.23. You
Oh
know?
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't.
So,
I wouldn't leave the 22 in it on a permanent basis. I would.
yeah. I
They
just
fill
hate
me
that
up.
you got to neuter. It's like locking out half your cylinders on your car. Or something like that. It's great when you're handing it to your kid or your wife, but you don't want to get in and unlock that shit all the time. Not that I got a car like that, but I'm just to
Yeah,
me it's just like I don't know. But again, for the price, a lot of people, depending on how you're using it, yeah, I mean, go for it. Again, it's not my first thing, but I really can't complain about it from what I hear from people. So
yeah. Well, my friend who I go shooting with and stuff, he bought that kit with the 3 magazines and with it. And I haven't used it yet, but he's used it a few times. He said he hasn't had any problems with it so far.
yeah,
He said he hasn't had one you know one misfeed or anything yet with it. So
nice. I know my first experience and stuff with those was at least like probably 10 years ago or something. And maybe a little longer. And it wasn't something I'd recommend at that point, just down the route, the reliability, things like that. So, but again, from what I hear now, they seem to be doing the job. So,
yeah, yeah. So anyway, that's going to be my first purchase. Anyway, is that conversion kit. Then back to my list, my 410 lever action shotgun. I know it has no purpose, but I want one.
you better get a shitload of 22 to go with that conversion
Okay.
kit. I know you probably got a bit, but
22. I got tons of 22.
yeah, new gun and this and that, and 22. It doesn't hurt to pull the trigger. So basically, you and your buddy might blow through more than you're thinking over there first couple
Yeah.
times playing around.
Oh yeah. I would imagine so. Because you can sit, as you said, you can. I mean, like even when I take when I'm shooting, 5.56 over there. I mean, I'll go through. I limit myself to just 3 magazines because I can go through it like crazy. And you imagine if it was 22s you're shooting, you know, I'd go. I mean, I reckon I could shoot, with that 25 round magazines. I reckon I could go through 100 rounds without even thinking about it with 22.
Oh,
You know?
definitely. Especially if you and your buddy get into something, let's see who can hit that or who can hit
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't hurt to shoot it. You know what I mean? So financially, it's not free, obviously, but compared to 5.56, 2.23, anything like that, it's just, you don't even have to worry about it. It's not in the same ballpark.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I was reading an article today in the old. I don't have it here. It's in the other room. My magazine from the the concealed carry
Yep.
organization I belong to.
Yep.
There's an article in there. Some guy who he's some old boy. He's trained thousands of people and stuff, and he was saying that what you should be practicing more than anything is drawing your gun from concealment. He said that is one of the most important things, because as he said, most things are around 3 to 5 seconds is all the shooting time lasts, and it's normally at close quarters, between 5 and 7 yards. He said, really, you need to practice. He said, to be really, I mean, to almost guarantee that you're going to come out on the winning side is pulling it out and putting 2 shots on target in 1.5 seconds. He said, but a lot of people aren't going to get there. So, but he said, the quicker you can get it out, the better. He said, you should practice drawing from your holster. And I don't know if it was in that article or it was another one. If you have to go to a range, a lot of ranges will not let you draw from a holster, for safety reasons. Yep. Right. So, but then this other, I think it was a different article, was saying, well, that's where dry firing at home comes in handy. You can practice drawing, while you're dry firing from your holster, at home.
I think it helps, but I don't think it's the same thing.
Yeah. No, it's not, but it's help. But it's the muscle memory thing, isn't it?
Yeah. It'll definitely help with clearing, but the draw, sure, getting rounds on target, I think it helps, but nothing really simulates actually doing it, I think. So.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree with what the guy's saying.
I mean, like when I go down my friends, there ain't nobody around. We can practice drawing and shooting, because we're not on an official range or in the backyard, And like you, when you go out in the woods, you can practice drawing from a holster if you got nobody to say, no, you can't do that here.
Right. Yeah, that was one of my one of the big things I didn't like about the club I was in, because, you weren't allowed to do that. And for me, being concealed carry, that seems like that's what people should be in there practicing, But again, liability insurance reasons. Talked to a guy there about it, and he said it's just the rules. There's cameras 24/7, so I'd follow the rules there, but didn't like it. And obviously the size of the range, you couldn't shoot from prone. They had a few different odd rules. Obviously, it was frowned upon to shoot a lot. I don't know, not shoot a lot, but shoot a lot quickly. I don't know. I don't think there was actually like so many rounds per second or nothing like that. But if you're in there, just what I don't know. I guess.
I mean, I was
throwing ammo down. They can get a little upset or something. I never had any problem, but I don't like the rules and then the expectations of spaghetti dinners and all this other shit. And then, part of the time you can't use it anyway because kids are doing their the national competitions and whatnot. So it's just I don't know. Wasn't right for me.
Yeah. I used to go to one shooting range when I was in Rhode Island, and they frowned upon you doing a mag dump. Shooting it as fast as you can.
Yeah, same type of thing. Yeah. It wasn't like somebody to yell at you, but the place was all busy and stuff, and there was an RO. He'd probably come, say something politely. But I never had any issues or whatever. But it's probably a lot of it's probably how it's done, who's doing it. Are you holding the gun sideways and shooting the ceiling? There's probably a lot that goes on with it too.
Yeah, but back to what I said, if you're at a range like that won't let you draw your holster and fire, and you don't have access to shooting in somebody's backyard or out in the middle of nowhere, doing it at home, dry firing is the best way of doing it. To me, it's better than nothing. The way I look at it. So, I mean, I've been last couple of since I've been home for almost a week without going anywhere because it's so damn cold. The reason I ain't going over with my friends, I don't mind going out there, is he said, hell with this. He said, try, because we sit out in his garage around the wood stove. But that's a big garage. It's it's sort of like he's only got 2 doors, but it's actually a 3-door garage. One section is like his workshop area, right? But they're extra wide, they're extra large doors, type thing. So it's a big old garage he has. And it takes some wood to heat that thing up. And he said, as cold as it is, we're never filled, you have to sit practically on top of the stove to stay warm. And he said, he said, I'm going to stay in my house. I said, I don't blame you. So I said, I'll see you when the cold snaps over. He goes, if I change my mind, he said, I'll call you. Well, I ain't heard from him all week. So he hasn't changed his mind. And I don't blame him, So
Yeah, understandable. You got to use a lot of material probably to heat the place up, right? Whether it's fuel or whatever. So to do that just to hang out there for half hour or an hour,
Yeah, exactly.
Really
that's what he's saying. And because now most of the year he's out there pottering around working on cars or doing whatever. But he said normally, what happens is when you guys leave, I go indoors. I don't stay out here. So I can't see, as you said, heating it up for an hour, hour and a half. So I don't blame him. Plus, he's chopping the wood. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? He's splitting logs. I ain't doing it.
So, yeah, it makes a difference too. So
yeah. And he's not getting any younger. He's the same age as I am. You know what I'm saying? So, but he's a bit. I mean, he's a bit more mobile than I am. Let's put it that way. But it all catches up with us in the end. Yeah. So that was that article I was reading on that. It was saying, that's one of the most things you should do is practice drawing from concealment. So, but I've read a couple of articles too. I think it's biased myself that carrying concealed is the best way. Carrying open could get you killed. Because they can see that you have a gun, so they might take you out first, kind of crap. I'm not saying it wouldn't happen, but I mean, I personally don't call it, even though I wear an outside the waistband holster. Normally I wear jeans and t-shirts all year round, and my t-shirt is over the top of it. You might, I mean, yeah, it prints now and then, but you can open or concealed carry in Indiana anyway, so it doesn't matter what. So if people seeing it doesn't bother me any, but I do have it covered. Yes, I have walked around with it uncovered and out there in the public. Around this area, nobody says a thing because they're used to it. Because this is gun country here. So, but so really, like here when I was doing some dry firing the other day, yesterday, I stood up for a little while here in the bedroom, and as I said, I carried under my t-shirt, so that's how I had it, and I would pull up my t-shirt and pull it out, So I wasn't at 1.5 seconds, by the way. I didn't have a timer, but I know I wasn't that fast. But what I have been practicing here with the old laser is point and shoot. Look at something, point at it, and shoot. And I'm getting pretty good. Hitting the target when I'm aiming at. So, but it comes back to what I've always said. As long as you're hitting center mass, so what your first shot is on the left side and your second shot's on the right side. As long as you're in that circle, it's a hit in my book. So that's how I look at it anyway. So there you go. Oh man, what else? What's time? Oh shit, it's almost quitting time. Damn, this hour has gone by fast. So, what else? I think that's about it. I ain't got much more. You got anything else you want to add, or are you sitting there eating on me there, New York Outcast?
I'm in the car, so I figure it's probably background, but yeah, I don't know. I think when you bring up the open or concealed, I would fall on the concealed side for most situations. Yeah, and basically not the fact that, I don't know, maybe for some of the other reasons that people say, which I do think are valid reasons. And people used to say, oh, nobody grabs people's guns. And now, shit, we see it all the time. The one guy got shot with his own 1911 at the gas station, and somebody took and he tried to get it back. And I mean, I don't know. It can happen. Crowded situation, things of passion. It's just one less risk to worry about. Yeah. Is it likely? Maybe not. But one thing people kind of forget is, most of us. I don't think it's humanly possible to be 100% of the time. You might get sidetracked, have to grab your wife, she slips, somebody takes advantage. You know what I mean? So, and you can say, well, I got a stage 2 or whatever. So it doesn't matter. I mean, it could still happen. I know how the holster works. I could take it off you. You know what I mean? Where, not stating it's gonna be that case or that it's, that detrimental, but I personally like to get treated like an average person. I don't want, maybe I want to punch you in the face, but you're not going to say something because I got a gun. Or maybe you would have asked me a question, but you're not going to because I've got a gun. Because everybody here just assumed you're a cop or criminal. Obvious, it's concealed carry only here anyway, but and I have open carried in Wyoming, Pennsylvania, other states where it's legal, Wyoming for months. At times, and I didn't have any issue, but it is kind of weird when I reach for my wallet. The guy at the register's got a gun, I got a gun, and I'm kind of making sure he understands I'm getting my wallet, not reaching for my gun. You know what I mean? It's like little shit like that you don't really have to worry about. But to each their own. Again, because I have a gun, I'm not just going to stop being a man. If I see something that's a problem, I might address it. Not that I'm a vigilante or whatever the case is, but I'm not just going to run away from every situation because I'm armed. So if I do tell somebody something and they don't like it, they're not going to say, oh, this guy with a gun threatened me. They're just going to say that black asshole said something to me. You know what I mean? So it changes it a little bit, but that's just me, But everybody's got to do what's right for you.
Yeah, but back to that article, as I said, I think that's why I always wear like my T-shirt over it, because that's going to, even though they might see it printed there, to grab it off me, they got to get through my shirt first. You know what I'm saying? It gives me an extra little, couple of seconds to hopefully stop him from taking it. You know what I'm saying? But back to the article where he was, they were saying, but they said what's good about concealed carry is it's the surprise factor. Somebody's attacking you or coming to rob you, right? And you pull a gun out on them, right? There's a split second in their mind where they're sort of like in a shock factor that somebody else has got a gun. And that could be the advantage that gives you to get the first shot off. You know what I'm saying? That's what he was also saying, which I thought was, pretty smart. They know, they see you carrying your gun on the outside. It's going to be harder for you to pull it out and shoot it. If you're concealed, you can grab it, pull it out, and he sort of, there's a small
element of surprise. Yeah. I agree to that. Like I said, in most situations, I think that's ideal. Obviously, there's other times where it may be beneficial for other reasons, risk management. You want to be, maybe it's a rally, maybe it's, everybody here has got one on their hip, so that you feel naked. I don't know. It's up to you and your individual choices. So, but yeah, I think there's merit to what the guy's saying, because you want every advantage possible when it comes to anything with self-defense. So that's just one more thing they don't know. Don't never show your hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So anyway, it's about quitting time. Gonna do my quiz. This is the drawing will be, when is it? The 4th of February. That's the first Wednesday of the month for the swag pack. And the question is, I remember what I asked now. Here it is. I wanted to know what the Mills bomb was. The Mills bomb. It was used during couple of hints. It was used during the Second World War, and it was mainly British and Imperial forces used it in the First World War. I think it was was it the first or second? No, it was used in the First World War. My mistake. It was, but mainly by the British and Imperial forces. A Mills bomb. I want to know what it is. Email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. Get it into me by the 4th of February, and you'll be in for the swag pack. So there we go. That's done. So, yeah, it's coming up to 8 o'clock. So if you got any closing stuff you need to say there, New York Outcast?
Just thanks for joining us, folks out there. We appreciate that you're cool people and choose to spend your time here listening to us bicker like grumpy old men, kind of. Obviously, eat a salad, stay cool, don't take any shit, and hopefully we'll see you next week if Rick shows up.
Hopefully I should do. I don't do it on purpose, but I don't. It's no, I unless it's normally a good reason when I don't show up. So anyway, with that, I want to say thank you to everybody for showing up. Hey, we kept it mainly on guns this week. So I'm getting better. Mainly on guns. And I even brought up shooting with disabilities. So if you guys got anything you want to add, just drop me an email or whatever, and I can use that or look it up or whatever. I would appreciate it. Any participation by you guys would be a great help. So with that, I'll be here next week at 7 p.m. Eastern, the only time zone that matters. So with that, I'm going to say good night. So good night, everybody. Good night, Sabrina.
Hasta la vista.